Yo, howdy folks. Alright, it's Kevin, Big K Horror, and right now I just want to do this video kind of giving my top slasher films, my favorite slasher films out there, a boast. So this is going to be one of those videos. It's going to be covering about, I don't know, about 15 or a little over 15 slasher films. And so these are the slasher films that are my favorites. Doesn't mean they're the best, but they're my favorites. So this covers everything from the technically accomplished, such as Halloween and Black Christmas, all the way to the very bad, but so bad it's good. Alright? And I'm not going to be showcasing the typical franchises showcased in these. So there will be no Halloween. There will be no Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, any of those, because, of course, I love those films. I've already talked about those films. These are more for the standalones. Now, I think I got two entries in this list here that are part of a franchise, but they're not like the most well-known of the franchises, so it doesn't really count. But so these are more the standalone slasher films, not including Halloween, not including Friday the 13th, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Scream, and all those, alright? And they do span everything from, I believe, the 70s all the way to now. And this also just includes like stuff by Dario Argento, the Giallos and stuff like that, because to me that's also a genre of itself, not the slasher film. So I'm gonna begin, and these are in no particular order of first to last. I hand picked them and put them in a stack, and I'm just gonna pick them and throw them out. So there you go. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna begin with the first one on my list that's an absolute favorite of mine. It's a technically accomplished film. It's I think one of the actual movies that came out that predated Halloween, but really set up a lot of the style of the slasher film with the killer point of view shots, the POVs and the creepiness, and everything from the stalking of the girls to the threatening phone calls. And if you know what film I'm talking about, that is none other than Canada's own 1974 slasher film, boom, Black Christmas. Alright, this movie is hardcore, like, just hands down one of the best slasher films out there. Alright, if you've never seen the 1974 film, you must see it. It is an atmospheric exercise in creepiness. Enough said. Okay, so that's Bob Clark's Black Christmas. Plus, this dude went on to do seminal Christmas films such as A Christmas Story, which plays, day round, during the time of Christmas. So, I mean, he knows his Christmas themes very well. But anyway, so Black Christmas. Okay, that's the beginning of that. Alright, next on the plate is none other than another camp slasher film. And no, again, I'm not talking about Friday the 13th, but those who know camp slasher films, I know you're probably thinking Sleepaway Camp, but no, this is The Burning. Alright? This little slice of 1981 slasher cinema was a mean-spirited, fucking grueling test, and actually had children and teenagers in it as the victims, as opposed to 20-year-olds playing the victims. And it had some righteous fucking kills in it, some damn good set pieces, and obviously the star of it all, the Tom Savini effects. Alright, this is a damn good 1981 slasher film. It's got heart behind it, and it's well-liked, and it's well-liked for all the right reasons. It's got good gore, good pacing, good story, a good slasher revenge flick, and also you actually like the characters in it. Okay? The Burning. Alright. Next up. Now, why I don't really consider this a slasher film per se, but it does follow a lot of that paradigm, with a group of teens or the early 20-year-olds getting stranded in a location, and they're getting knocked off one by a central character. And this movie is got its fan base, and it's awesome, and it's creepy as hell. And it's, I believe, from 1979, produced by Charles Band, and that is Tourist Trap. I do put this in the whole slasher arena on my list. Alright, so this is a damn good one. And it mixes a good mix of, the killer has telekinesis in it, so it's got a supernatural bent to it. But it's pretty much, if you've seen the 2005, 2006 slasher film, House of Wax, that is a remake of Tourist Trap. Okay, so this is the original House of Wax. Alright, so Okay, going on. The next one I'm going to do is another Tom Savini special effects horror film that came out in 1981 as well. This was like the big year of slasher films, 1981. It's also the year I was born, so I love that year. But this also was another mean slice of nastiness with good effects, good setting. I love the lead actress, the lead character, and I mean it was badass, and that's the Prowler. And Killer's costume in this with the World War II fatigue and all that, fucking creepy as hell. Alright, if you've never seen this, must see it. It's a damn good slasher film. Alright, so, next up. The next one I'm about to do is I've been a fan of this film for eons. I'm talking about since I was in elementary school and I started renting slasher films. This was the one I was renting a lot. Alright, I know a lot of people put it down for the use of its outdatedness, the soundtrack, but fuck it. It's the only disco music I think I'll ever like in my life, and you know what movie I'm talking about. That is Prom Night. Alright? One of my favorite slasher films right here. This really, really pushed into the envelope the Hitchcockianness of it with the subgenre, plus the red herrings and all that stuff. And plus with all the cool stalking elements with the killer stalking the girls and putting their yearbook pictures with mirror slices through them in their lockers and everything. It was really cool. So I really dug this movie. It really set up the paradigm a lot for the red herrings. Alright, Prom Night. Alright, next is another slasher film I grew up watching and renting when I was at elementary school, and it's a college campus slasher flick that opened up the door to college campus slasher flicks that I now fucking love, okay? And that is Final Exam. Okay, it's a simple little number. It's the most simplest thing ever made, but it is a fucking good simplicity to it. It's pretty much what they describe a Halloween clone, but it's a Halloween clone done right. All right, that's Final Exam. Get a load of that awesome cover. All right. Okay, the next one that's I'm about to mention is going to be a later '80s. Campus slasher film. It stars one of my favorite underrated scream queens, Jill Schoelen, and it's got one of the first star turns by Brad Pitt in it, and it's just a fun little campus slasher flick, and also something different with its hokey humor in it, and that is Cutting Class. This slasher film, I think, is badass. Alright? It's got some righteous kills in it. If you're familiar with Eli Roth's Thanksgiving trailer with the knife through the trampoline, boom. Right here. Alright. I love that movie. Alright, so next. The next one I'm about to do, it came out in the late 90s, early 2000s. It was kind of forgotten about because instead it was supposed to go to theaters, but due to Columbine and stuff, the company decided not to release it in theaters, and they just put it on USA Network, and ever since then it's kind of gained popularity with slasher fans, but also a lot of people dislike it. I like it because it is something different. It put a whole new slew and twists on things, because in this one, whereas virgins are the people who survive in these films, in this film, if you are a virgin, you die. So, you know what movie I'm talking about, and that is Cherry Falls with Brittany Murphy, Jay Moore, and Kenny Clark. This movie was a cool, different flick with a killer that has a bit of a twist to it, and it also was cool because it involved a lot of old school themes and thematics from older slasher films in it. Everything from like the small town shit you see Nightmare on Elm Street. The lead character, like Nightmare on Elm Street Nancy, has an alcoholic mother and a very doting cop of a father. Also, it's got a lot of small town stuff going on in it with dressing up as your kin, your family, like Psycho. It's really fucking cool, and it's got a cool cross-dressing killer and all that in it. So I really dug Cherry Falls. You know, virgins die. All right. The next one on my list is a mid-'80s slasher film that's so trashy, but I fucking love it. It's a fun little romp, and that is Slaughter High. Marty majored in cutting classmates, and he sure did. And this is a fun little romp, alright? I mean, it's cheesy. I mean, let's be honest. It's pretty bad in some aspects, but it's pretty fucking cool, too. Especially with the death scenes and the gore. You know, and you got Caroline Munro in it, and it's just cool. It's a cool, badass film, and it's got an awesome, badass Vestron VHS cover. Alright? So it's one of my faves. Okay, so moving on. One of the next ones that's one of my faves, and this one a lot of people don't really seem to be too much into, but I've always liked it because it's a quiet slasher film as opposed to being out there in your face. But it's one I always like to put on a very cold night, kind of just chill out and put it on, and I love it. And it's got some good moments in it, and that is He Knows You're Alone. if you're a fan of Scream 2, you'll obviously see where they got some of the ideas for the beginning of Scream 2 in the theater setting with this film. This is good, though. I like it. It's well worth it. And it's also noted because it's, I think, Tom Hanks' first acting role. He shows up in a minor role in it. But anyway, the next one is another holiday-centered slasher film that is that went on for a long time, being gutted by the MPAA. But then finally, about 5 years ago, it got released onto DVD, uncut. And I still loved it when it was edited. But now I got the unedited. It's fucking awesome, alright? And if you know what movie I'm talking about, that is My Bloody Valentine. The original 1981 My Bloody Valentine. Alright, this is a cool-ass one right here. Okay, so this next one I'm about to mention is one that it was made in 2006. It came out around that time, but unfortunately did not get released here in America. It still has not been released officially in America yet, but it's been released elsewhere all over the world. And I think it's one of the most grittily realistic slasher films out there. Everything about it is realistic. This could really happen. This is pretty much the Columbine of teen slasher films today. And it's got some good twists in it. It's got great acting. The teenagers seem like real fucking people in it, as opposed to, you know, the caricatures you usually get. This really has it all. It's real, it's gritty, it's got a very cinematographer. The cinematography is seamless and beautiful, but gritty, like the old Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And it was also filmed in Texas, too. And it's got a great star in it, and playing the title character. And I love this movie. There's nothing, like, I will go to my grave defending this movie. I fucking love it. It's one of my favorite slasher films ever made. And that is All the Boys Love Mandy Lane. Okay, if you've not gone around to see this film, you have to fucking check this out. I think it's even on fucking YouTube. I'm not even sure. It's probably all uploaded on that still, but this is a great fucking slasher film. Alright, if you like some gritty, realistic, fucking nasty slasher shenanigans, boom, check this one out. It does not disappoint. Alright, so on to the last few here. The next one I'm going to do is another college campus slasher film. As you know, I'm a big fan of those. And this was a mean-spirited one. And it also changed the course up of some, because as it was mean-spirited, it also did the whole ending to where things did not go the way you thought they would. You know, the killer gets away with things. But this was also a Christmas slasher film as well, as opposed to being a college campus. And it's a fun one. I've always loved it. And that is The Dorm That Dripped Blood. Alright, this is a cool-ass slasher flick you must check out if you have never seen it. Give it a chance. Maybe a little dated, but it's fucking awesome. Brutal as hell, too. Alright. Up next, we are going to do... This one has not ever been mentioned on any list, I've noticed, and it is a slasher film. Although it may not always go into the horror section, but it doesn't matter. I've loved it. I saw it the day it came out in theaters, and I've loved it. And I think it's funny as shit with the characters, but when it gets to the killings and the brutality, it's brutal. And it's fun, too. It's a fun slasher film, and that is Club Dread. Broken Lizard presents Club Dread. I know some of you might think, what, Kevin? But I'm dead serious. This movie is fucking fun, and it's cool as shit. It's got a lot of nods to old school slasher flicks like The Burning and stuff. All right, so you gotta appreciate that. But yeah, this slasher film is definitely worth checking out if you've never seen it. I know it looks goofy as fuck, but trust me, it's a good fun one. It's probably the best tropical island slasher film I've ever seen, because it's way, way better than fucking I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. All right, that movie blows. All right, so moving on. One of the next ones I'm going to do is also by the same people that put out Slaughter High, so it's got a level of cheesiness, badness, but hokiness, but it's fucking awesome. It's a damn rollicking good time to sit back, get drunk, maybe chill out, whatever, and watch. And the gore is supreme, and that is Pieces. It's exactly what you think it is, as the tagline suggests. This movie, like, as it suggests, you don't have to go to Texas for a Chainsaw Massacre. Okay, this is a good, fun college campus chainsaw maniac wielding slasher flick right here. Okay, it delivers in spades. All right, it delivers on the boobs, the tits and ass. It delivers in the blood, the chopped up bodies, everything. I mean, you see bodies get fucking literally cut in half in one shot. It's awesome. The special effects are amazing in this. In this early 80s, it's hokey, it's corny, but it's awesome. All right, down to the last few. Yeah, so One other slasher film, I believe it was made in Australia or New Zealand. I always forget which one. But this is a little unseen one too, and I recently watched it and got it this past Christmas, and it's definitely one of my favorites too because it's something different, it's unique, and that is Strange Behavior. It may sound kind of like disturbing behavior, but it's kind of similar in the way that there's these teenagers making money to pay for college funds by the psychology department on the local college campus, and in reality they are being guinea pigs to testing to be subjects to pretty much being forced to kill other people in town. And it's really fucking cool. You know, it's kind of like the Stepford Teens in a way, but it's really cool. Really badass slasher film. It's got some brutal moments, some good chase scenes in it, an awesome fucking party sequence with this dance and stuff. It's awesome, but I love this teen flick. It's from 1981. You definitely should check it out. It's got awesome score by Tangerine Dream as well. Alright. Okay, so this one I did a review for this one some time back ago, and this one is a bad movie. Like, this is like one of those movies that you only will really appreciate either if you're a diehard elitist slasher fan or if you're a fan of bad cinema, okay? Because this movie is bad. But it's, in my book, it's one of those so bad it's good movies, alright? And that is The Last Slumber Party, alright? See that there? Alright, The Last Slumber Party right here. This movie's so bad it's good, and I love every fucking minute of it. I've seen it since I was in high school back in the 90s, and I don't know, it's always had a fucking hold on me because it's so bad. But I love it. I lavish it. It's I'm sorry, my brain's running blind here, but no, it's just really bad. And for the people who have seen it, trust me, I know plenty of friends on Facebook who like it because it's so trashy and bad. It's just it has to be seen to be believed. It's so bad. But for a slasher, you know, as a slasher film fan, I had a lot of fun with it. All right, so okay, the last two movies I want to mention. All right. This one is also part of this one. The next two I'm about to do are the two that are within a franchise, but they're not the biggies that a lot of people on their list. And this one is going to be Sleepaway Camp Part 2: Unhappy Campers. This is probably my favorite sequel, my favorite entry in the Sleepaway Camp films. Yeah, Sleepaway Camp Part 1's awesome. It's got that twist ending, that bogus twist to it. But this one, Angela in this is fucking awesome, played by, you know, Pamela Springsteen. And it's got fucking awesome use of killings with so many different weapons. It's got a huge body count, and it's just fun, fun, fun. There's nothing to take serious in this film whatsoever. I mean, after all, we're talking about a tranny killer, all right? Or a sex change killer, Angela. But anyway, Sleepaway Camp 2: Unhappy Campers. This movie fucking rocks, all right? Okay, so the last one that's my favorite all-time slasher film, that's aside from Halloween, because Halloween's one of my all-time favorites, and so is the first Nightmare on Elm Street and blah blah blah. But I'm not doing those. This is my all-time favorite slasher film. I will always go be a diehard fan of this film, this franchise. And clue right there, Slumber Party Massacre. My friends who know me know I'd probably mention this one. Okay, this one's on my list. This is my favorite slasher film, I think, of all time, aside from the biggies that I've already mentioned, like Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street and all that. But this is a fun, tense flick. Alright, it's not to take too seriously, and some people consider it a B flick, but it does a B flick fucking well, like very fucking well. It's very tense when it needs to be, it's suspenseful when it needs to be, it's fun when it needs to be, but it's also got TNA, boobs, gore, and, you know, a drill or killer, you know? Fucking awesome stuff, you know, awesome shots in the movie that really relegate it to being, you know, very phallic. So anyway, but yeah, so Slumber Party Massacre, my all-time favorite slasher standalone film right there. Well, the first one is, until the series kicked in with Part 2 and 3, but yeah, I love this film right here. It's one of my favorite slasher films. So that's it. That is my top, whatever, 1920, I don't know, I think that was 20 films right there I just did, I'm not sure. But those are my favorite slasher films. So if you're a fan of any of those, or not seen any of those, you got questions or comments, comment below, I want to hear. Alright, peace out.